Hey y'all, I'm Leah Lawrence.
And I'm her husband, Mitch Lawrence.
And you are listening to the Southern Spirits Podcast, where I regale my husband with Southern stories of the macabre, creepy, and strange.
And I drink.
So what are we drinking tonight, Mitchell?
Well, after that really fun, different intro, I enjoyed
You
it.
said the other day that I could play around with my voices, and I'm gonna.
We've got a long alcohol section, so y'all strap in. It's going to be a while. Skip
Buckle
ahead
up,
to about
Buttercup.
15 minutes if you want. Our beer tonight is 420 strain Mango Kush Wheat Ale. It's from Sweetwater Brewing Company in Atlanta, Georgia. 5% alcohol by volume. And let's read the bottle. A second sticky hit from 420 strain, an American wheat packed with herbal, juicy mango notes and a distinctive dank nose. Strain-specific terpenes?
Yes, terpenes.
Terpenous and natural hemp-type flavors complement the hop and malt bill, delivering a euphoric ale with that fresh olfactory bonus rip. A strange new strain indeed. That part's in all caps.
I guessed.
Yeah. What I have to say about it is, if you ever wanted a beer to taste like actual marijuana, this one is for you. Now, we've had Sweetwater 420 on, just the regular 420 that's one of their flagships. And that's got like a bong water smell. It's weird to explain, I guess. This, it's mostly on the nose, but it smells exactly like you just ground up some fucking dank perp and you're just sitting there sniffing on it.
Wait.
Yeah, I'm with it. I understand.
What did you just say?
I'm with the kids. They know what I said.
Did you just say dank perp?
Yeah, but it's mostly in the nose. You don't taste too much of it, but it smells exactly like some fresh marijuana.
Oh my
Don't ask
God.
me how I know. We live in Alabama. I don't actually know.
You are the oldest, whitest man I have ever heard. Don't
Yes.
ever say dank perp. Ever.
As for the taste, it's quite nice and hoppy. The fruit notes add a lot to it, but it's mostly just hops and a little bit of weed flavor. So it's all artificial, because it does say on the bottle it contains no hemp. So it's just some kind of artificial flavoring or scent that they put into it. But you could have fooled me with it because, I mean, it's there.
It could also just be hops that smell like that.
Yeah, and that is a thing.
I don't know that it's artificial so much as it's just not pot. It just smells like it.
Yeah, that could be
And
it too.
it does. He's not lying. It smells like if you were drinking some of this in a public location, the cops would pull you the fuck over.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't be driving it if you're drinking
I
anyway.
meant like if you're in a public place, pulled over is the wrong thing.
Yeah.
But people are going to get incredibly suspicious if you're drinking this around other people because, yes, it does smell, in fact, very much like the third floor of my dormitory.
And I like
AKA
it.
pot.
I like it quite a bit. It's really good. I gave it a 9.5 out of 10. The actual first time that I smelled it was this past weekend. We went to Chattanooga for our anniversary trip. And we actually bought this before we went. I said, ooh, this looks interesting. And we went on it's called Pints and Pedals tour,
y'all.
where you ride a bike and you go around to different bars. And it's supposed to be breweries, but anyway, we'll get there. But somebody else in our group got this beer, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I want to. And they were like, smell it. And it smelled exactly like weed. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to have this on the show, because we bought it like 3 weeks ago. But now we got it. 9.5 out of 10. I recommend it. It's good. Our liquor, speaking of being in Chattanooga, is 1816 Reserve, blended and bottled by Chattanooga Whiskey Company in Chattanooga, Tennessee. It's 45% alcohol by volume, and again, a nice long bottle section, so let's read the bottle. 1816 Reserve is an innovative update to our traditional straight bourbon whiskey. Utilizing our own version of the classic Solera process, we bring together over 100 fully aged barrels of 1816 into one large, charred oak Solera barrel. After each small batch bottling, we then top the Solera with 10 to 15 mature barrels. This continual process allows the whiskeys to marry together, imparting a gradual complexity over time. Paragraph 2. Originally distilled in Lawrenceburg, Indiana, and aged for greater than 2 years, 1816 is still the whiskey that changed century-old laws, making distilling legal again in our hometown. And what that means, we went on the tour of this distillery in Chattanooga. There was still a holdover law from Prohibition that you could not distill liquor in the actual town, the city of Chattanooga. And this company, Chattanooga Whiskey Company, lobbied and got that law changed, but they didn't have any product ready because the law changed pretty quickly. And they got their whiskey from this distillery in Indiana. And we were told that's actually fairly common for whiskey companies. So they had something on the shelf ready to go while they made and aged their whiskeys, which they are rolling out now because they opened in 2015. And they're just now getting their signature stuff to where they're having a release party later this summer, they said.
September is when their big release for their actually Chattanooga made instead of just Chattanooga blended.
Right. That's accurate. I don't remember the name of what that will be.
It's the High Malt. Tennessee High Malt
there
is
you
what
go.
that line is called.
And I'm excited to try some of that.
Because they focus on like malted barleys and malted grains and stuff like that instead of on like barrels, which I mean, like they do barrel age all of their stuff, but their whole thing is bringing the flavor out in grains and complexities and stuff like that. It's a very interesting tour. I was incredibly interested.
It's like $12. Go do it.
It's fun, and they give you a shit ton of whiskey after you pay that $12 to taste.
For your tasting,
Would recommend.
Yeah, it was really fun. And what I have to say about this 1816 Reserve, this is one of the better blended whiskeys I've had. It's the cheapest offering from Chattanooga Whiskey Company, but that does not mean that it is skimped on the quality, because it's still like $40 for this bottle, and it's just really freaking good as well. A blended whiskey is always hit or miss for me because you never really know what you're getting, but this one's good. We tried it there. It was one of the ones that we tried during the tasting, and then we got a bottle of this. We got a 2-pack of this and another one that will be coming up later. Teaser, eventually. But again, it's just really smooth for such a high alcohol by volume offering. I like it a whole lot. It was it's really good mixed. I'll say that, but it also got a 9.5 out of 10 with just an ice ball for me. It's just really smooth. It's really good. It's surprising to me. 10 out of 10 in a whiskey sour. We do have mint julep mix from Chattanooga Whiskey Company, but we didn't have soda water and mint leaves, so we didn't make mint juleps, but we will with the next one. That one I can promise you. We tried it with the mint julep at the Chattanooga Whiskey Company, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, part of the tasting is they'll make you a Sazerac, and they'll also make you a mint julep, and it's real good.
Yeah, so that gives us a 9.75 out of 10 overall. And we are finally done with the alcohols, Leah. So I believe that we can move into whatever you got next.
All right, well, that was long-winded as fuck, but...
I'm so sorry.
Y'all, we have listener mail.
Listener mail.
Listener mail.
Oh, and I do have another thing to say real quick, because I didn't charge my tablet, so we don't have sound effects. I noticed it just a minute ago.
Mitchell, you have one job.
Well, I've got a lot more than one job, but that one is one of the important ones.
Anyway, so without the fanfare of the sound effects board, still, we have listener mail.
Listener mail.
We got a lovely little package from our amazing listener, Jackie, in the mail this week. And she does polymer clay art, and she made us 3 little charms that are so stinking cute.
They are.
They're 2 little whiskey bottles that look like our logo, and then a possum head on a charm, and it is just abso-stinkingly adorable. I can't decide if I want to put them on a necklace and wear them that way, or if I want to string them up and make like a little keychain for my push board where I'm putting all of my postcards. I don't know. They're just too cute. I'm going to post pictures of those over on the Instagram page. So if you're interested, go look at that because it's super cute. Thank you so much, Jackie.
Thank you.
I always love getting things in the mail, but handmade stuff is just like, so exciting for me. So that was listener mail.
That's fun. I enjoyed that. Thank you, Jackie. It was really fun seeing that. And she gave us a heads up that it was coming, so we were checking daily.
Much appreciated.
Yeah, and we got it. Before we get into something else, I want to talk about Chattanooga real quick, because if you're not in our Facebook community chat, you should be, because I posted some videos during that Pints and Pedals tour.
Oh, God.
Which, if y'all don't know, all right, it's supposed to be like a giant bicycle that sits 15 people, right? Well, okay, the pedals aren't connected to anything.
We
first of
learned
all.
that real fast.
Well, I didn't have to pedal. I was in a seat that didn't have pedals.
He was in a non-pedaling
wheel
seat,
well.
but I was in a pedaling seat. And I was like, okay, this is going to be a really long-ass 2-hour tour because I don't pedal very well, but I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
So I pedal for like a couple seconds, and the pedals feel like they're doing something for about a couple seconds. And then like, you're just spinning your fucking pedals. There's nothing, it like... By the second bar that we stopped at, literally, like, there's one drunk white guy that's, like, pedaling in the front. That's the only guy left pedaling on the bike. Everybody else has completely given up.
The pedals are the participation trophies of the adult world in
They
Chattanooga.
do nothing.
So, I swear to you, when I signed up for it, if you look at anything on their website, it looks like you're taking a brewery tour, and we're going to go to a few different things. Well, first of all, it's gas powered, so obviously the pedals aren't doing anything. Like
I think it's actually an electric powered thing, but
Could
anyway.
be. Well, what ends up happening, as I'll say twice because I stuttered, we just went to bars. Like, it's a party fucking boat, first of all. And second of all,
It's not a boat, it's a bike.
Yeah, but it's a boat. It's a fucking boat with wheels. So we're getting on, and it's us and two other couples, and then out of nowhere, a fucking bachelorette party shows up. And they are hammered ass drunk.
Yep.
And it turned into a party boat real fucking quick.
Real fast.
Well, we stopped at the first bar, and they said, all right, the driver said, all right, we're going to do a quick game of flip cup, this side versus this side. And I was like, I haven't done this in 10 years. Please don't make me play flip
and
cup.
I had never played flip cup in my life because I was a good kid.
Well, we won the first one. But anyway,
We did.
It was, for about 45 minutes, it was absolutely miserable. And then we got really drunk, and then it was a great time.
I don't know that I had a great time.
I had a wonderful time.
I did get insanely intoxicated. Yeah. I did Jello shots, and that was a bad idea.
Well, I had a
yeah.
great time, and there's video evidence of me having a wonderful time on the Facebook community chat. You should look it up. It was great.
But these ladies, bless their heart, they were having a great fucking time. And
no matter how much we were not.
No. And they were like, they got in the middle of the road, stopping traffic, mind you, to have a dance party and do the wobble for everybody, which, fine, I get it. But,
I will say this. The first bad sign happened when the bike pulled up, because they do tours like all day, but it's a 2-hour thing, in between. So when the bike pulled up, it was full of just old white people, and Thunderstruck by AC/DC was blaring.
Yeah, it was.
And there's one guy, there's a bench on the back of it where you don't have to pedal. And there's one older guy in there, maybe 45, with, a long beard but a bald head. And all that he's doing is every few seconds, he's just screaming at the top of his lungs. And we could hear them down the street coming. And I went, oh shit, I'm not ready for this. And Leah was already super anxious.
Yeah, it was
Then the bachelorette party showed up.
Yep.
Oh my God.
But the other two couples that were there were super nice people. So
yeah. Oh,
we
and
met
one of them
them. They
fell
were
off
fun.
too.
Yeah, that was problematic. But anyway.
You have to sign waivers before you get on
you
this thing.
You do. And there was a reason for that, apparently.
Well, it was after the tour, and we were sitting there. She decided to get back on the bike, and she promptly fell off and hit her head.
It was problematic.
She didn't
Bless her
bleed,
heart.
but
No.
I'm just happy it wasn't Leah.
But thankfully, like, several of the drunk ladies from the bachelorette party were nurses, so it worked
all
out.
nurses.
It worked out. It was fun. It's fun.
Oh, that's
God,
all I
what
had
an
to say. If y'all go to
experience, man.
Chattanooga, sign up for a Pints and Pedals tour, and
Get drunk off your tits.
make sure you go with a bachelorette party.
Or don't. It's fun.
I had a great time. Oh,
That makes one of us.
That's all that I had to share, Leah.
All right, well, I wasn't expecting that, but okay. But we have a new Patreon member.
Member. We call them membranes.
No, we call them members of the Possum Passel.
Yay, new Patreon member.
Welcome to Caitlin. Caitlin.
Welcome, Caitlin.
So
I'm
nice
sorry
to
you
have
don't get sound effects.
Yeah, it sucks, but whatever. Thank you so much for joining the Possum Passel.
Welcome.
We're so happy to have you. Any dollar amount that anybody gives to us is amazing. I appreciate it so much. Y'all have helped us buy this new equipment that makes us sound so much better than we did before. And just helps pay for our server space and is allowing us to develop new content, which is on the horizon. Teaser. So we super duper appreciate any time that anyone decides to join the Possum Passel. Thank you so much. And if anybody else wants to join the Possum Passel, you can do so at patreon.com/Southern Spirits Podcast.
Fun. Oh, well, that's fun. I love hearing about new patrons. It makes me so happy. Oh, and for any listeners out there, I did put a post on Patreon recently. If you haven't gotten your stuff from us, let us know, because I had a list going on my computer before I put them on Patreon is filled, and I don't know where that list went, and y'all know that we're kind of bad at keeping organized anyway. So if you haven't gotten your stickers or anything else that you're supposed to have, let us know, and we'll get it out to you promptly, because we're in a hurry to get that shit done now.
Yep.
So I'm in a hurry to get our rewards out.
Stop. We've got a lot of shit to go.
Okay, I'm sorry.
And we're at like 15 minutes already.
Yeah,
so
16. Actually.
16. All right. Well, we're going to go directly into a funny place name from there. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
We are going to be talking about Big Butt Mountain.
Okay. I was sipping the weed beer and I wasn't ready. Oh, God. I'm sorry. What happened at Big Butt Mountain and which state is it in?
Big Butt Mountain is a set of 5 distinct mountains that are all named Big Butt.
Well,
and
that's not right.
I know.
It's like George Foreman with all of his mountains.
Yeah, you get to be Big Butt, and you get to be Big Butt, and you get to be Big Butt. You too as well. But yeah, it's in western North Carolina. The Big Butts are part of the
Big Butts.
Appalachian mountain chain, obviously. And basically, it is the word butt in this case is a corruption of the word butte, because apparently mountain folk aren't going to say butte. They're just going to call it butt.
Yeah.
So instead of Big Butte, it became Big Butt. And it is officially Big Butt Mountain. All 5 of them.
That's
are
so
Big Butt
exciting.
Mountain.
Was there a city called Big Butt Mountain?
No, it's just the mountain, the mountains, the 5 mountains, and the
Big Butt
area
Range?
on the mountain that you can go to Big Butt Summit. There's 5 of them.
Yeah, you can.
You can summit Big Butt if you feel like it. Big
I conquered the big butts.
Booty. Oh yeah,
that's funny. I'm not making a Sir Mix-a-Lot joke, so let's move on.
All right, well, that was our funny place name. Quite short, quite sweet. Are you ready to go on to story number 1?
I sure am.
Alrighty, well, we are going to be going to Lawrenceville, Georgia.
Yay.
And we're going to be talking about the historic Lawrenceville Jail.
Okay. I have never heard of whatever we're about to talk about, so that's exciting.
All right, well, there is a, go figure, historic jail in the city of Lawrenceville in Georgia. So Lawrenceville is part of the Atlanta metro area for the most part. I believe it's in Gwinnett County. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's where it's at. Either way, it's close.
Yes.
So Lawrenceville Jail was initially built in 1832, and it actually was a operating jail all the way up till 1940. So
wow.
Over 100 years of jailing folk, doing a good job, you know? And it is constructed out of double blocks of solid granite, and they are doweled together to keep it strong and all of that. And it's, it was just I've seen pictures of it, and I was thinking, oh, it's this big, elaborate. No, it looks like a tiny little squat granite box. It's weird.
Yeah.
I was expecting something more impressive, but it's not. It's got 3 cells. It's a very small jail, but it's solid granite, and it's still there in the middle of just normal, everyday town shit. So a lot of people probably don't even realize what it is or that it's there, just because it's small and nondescript. But it is a very old, a very historical jail, and I'm going to tell you about the ghost that haunts it.
Is it one ghost?
Well, the one main ghost, yeah.
Okay, so they do have multiple ghosts.
Yes.
Is it like a museum now?
I believe there is a place that does like ghost walking tours in that area because I was talking to our friend Amanda from Amanda Panda Comics. Go check her out.
Hey, another free ad.
She's done so much for us. I'm going to plug her as much as I can.
It's not technically free. She works for it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But no, she was telling us they live in that area. And she was telling me that courthouse there is actually where Larry Flint from Hustler got shot. So I think there's a whole walking tour that's a bunch of ghosty stuff. It goes through a really haunted cemetery in that area, that kind of thing. And I think those people are using it as like a stop.
But it's still there. They haven't replaced it.
No, it's still there.
That's so weird. Okay.
Yep. So like I said, it's open for certain tours and stuff like that. You could actually go inside and all of that. I know during Halloween, I don't know about the rest of the year, but I don't really know who owns it, but I know that is one way that if you're interested, you can get into it. But, so like it has been modernized a little bit. So initially it was obviously just a granite block with bars and shit. Then eventually someone ran electricity to it, which good, cool. Oh, no. They've got lights in it now, but nobody ever thought to add plumbing. So there are no toilets in that. Oh. So up until the 1940s, like prisoners were shitting in buckets there. Like my God. It's rough. Gross.
I'm so upset.
Okay, but anyway, the story that I'm going to tell you is the main story that you're going to hear if you talk or go on a tour, etc. This is the main ghosty ghost. All right, and his name is Ellick.
Ellick?
Ellick. Elleck. Ellick.
I was just about to ask you to spell that for me.
Yep.
Okay. That's fun. That's a fun spelling of a name.
So this story comes from 1840, and the slave, like I said, his name is Ellick. And once again, he was a slave, and he was a slave in sort of the main house on one of the plantations there in Lawrenceville. And his master apparently was a giant asshole drunkard kind of folk, which, I mean, he owned slaves, obviously, but... you know, even worse than normal. And apparently Ellick had done something to irritate him, or maybe he was just in a drunken rage. Nobody really knows, but he starts the master goes after Ellick hardcore, is trying to just beat him to death for funsies at this point. And so Ellick is like, oh, this isn't good. I need to get away from this guy until he calms down. So Ellick sort of tries to escape and run away to his like sort of where the slave quarters were. So he goes into his room, his barracks, and he sort of climbs the little ladder up to the sleeping loft. And the master draws his sword. He's followed him. He's about ready to cut Ellick down with this sword.
Oh, no.
And so Ellick is like, oh, shit. And he just basically defends himself. And so the master is up this ladder, this little, skinny rail ladder, and has a sword coming after him. So what does he do? He sort of pushes him over, and the ladder falls, and
hilarious.
Yeah, the master ends up busting his head open and dying.
Oh, no, that's not hilarious.
That's not hilarious. It's
he
bad.
fell off the beer bike.
Yeah, he fell off the beer bike.
Oh, God.
No, he fell off of the ladder that he was climbing to stab this slave to death with. So, karma, but problematic for Ellick, right? So it was self-defense, but at this point, what's he gonna do? He has a decision to make. Shot in the dark.
Okay, no sound effect. I'll do the there we go.
Oh, we're so low budget, y'all. I'm sorry.
Okay.
At this point, Ellick has a decision to make. What does he do next? Does he A, run away? Does he B, commit suicide? Or does he C, turn himself in?
I'm going to say, since we haven't really found out who the ghost is yet, that he committed suicide.
You are incorrect, sir.
Oh, God. Hold on. Let me buzz. Oh, that's so loud. I hope that compresses down. Y'all, I'm looking at the audio on that. Oh, that's rough.
It's like just a big block of sound wave. It's a problem.
All right. Well, here comes the first shot. Let me move my mic. Oh. Here we go. Woo! Ooh, that's rough. That's rough, y'all. Oh. Oh, God.
Are you okay?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm great.
Well, as long as you're still okay, I'll let you know the answer.
Thank you.
He turned himself in.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, so his master was dead.
I mean, not sweet.
No, not sweet.
He did a good thing
He
for killing someone, but you know.
He should, but like it was in self-defense, so he was like, okay, if I run away, people are going to be chasing the fuck after me thinking that I'm the one that intentionally killed this guy. It's going to be a real problem. But like, I'm going to take it to the sheriff. I'm going to tell him what happened. And, you know, it was self-defense, so it shouldn't be a problem. Well,
he honestly thought that as a slave, that self-defense wouldn't be a problem.
I mean, he probably didn't actually believe that, but you know what I mean. This
so
is
you're
a story.
putting words in his mouth.
This is a fucking story, Mitchell. Try and tell a good story.
Oh, you're doing great.
And so he goes to the sheriff and he says, okay, look, my master was after me with a sword. He was super drunk. He climbed up a ladder that he shouldn't have. He lost his balance, fell, killed himself, etc. And Alec was like, you know, I agree that like I shouldn't have pushed the ladder, but like he was coming after me with a sword. What was I supposed to do? Of course, the sheriff was like,
laws at the time
you
say,
killed a white man.
Yeah,
you know.
Laws at the time state he should have sat there and taken the sword.
Basically. And so they arrest Alec, and Alec is actually the only slave that was ever brought to trial in Lawrenceville. And of course, it was a jury of really old landowning white men who all owned slaves themselves. So obviously, it would be a bad precedent if they allowed this slave to kill his master without any consequence. And so
then they'll all start getting ideas.
Yeah, right.
God.
And so basically what happened was they found him guilty and they sentenced him to be hanged. They brought him back to the jail. They locked him up into the cell on the right. And it's, like I said, if you take a tour, I've seen the pictures, but you'll see it. And I think you can go in there. But anyway.
I don't want to.
So Alec is like, well, shit, this didn't go at all like I thought it would. And so he's like, I'm going to escape. Like he should have in the first place. But he's like, I'm going to escape. I'm going to get out of this bitch.
Something tells me he doesn't make it.
Yeah, it's several days until I have to be hung. So let's just try to escape. So he gets something to start chiseling away at that granite wall. And apparently the mark is still there. You can see where it's been chiseled out, like a divot sort of in that wall in the cell.
That's fun.
And you could see, you know, how much progress he had made on the wall, but it wasn't very much because someone heard a noise on the street. They hear this, you know, clinking noise. And so they are like, hey, sheriff, your jail's making a weird clinking noise. You might want to go check on that. And so the sheriff was like, oh, yeah, that's weird. Should probably check on that. So he goes in and he finds Alec chipping away at the wall. And he's like, oh, hell no. You're not going to do this. We're going to chain you up. So they do. So he chains Alec.
Who fucking tattled, though? Fuck that asshole.
Some asshole walking by here in the jail clinking. So he chained Alec to the floor by his wrists and ankles, and so completely flat, spread eagled. He is on the ground for 3 whole days. He can't sit up. He can't drink any water. He can't go to the I mean, I'm sure he's going to the bathroom on himself because where else are you going to do? Because you're chained to the floor.
He can't scratch that itch behind his right knee. Yeah,
there's nothing. He is spread eagled, chained to the floor. And just sort of sitting in his own excrement. It's a problem. It's disgusting. And he's just like, fuck, you know, and he's crying and pleading for help and no one's helping him. He asked to be like allowed to at least sit up. The jailer's just like, fuck you, no. So to sort of like endure the time that he's chained up, he starts singing. And so apparently I don't really understand this part of the story. So like they say he sings to his beloved, and I don't know if she's already dead or if she's someone that's still alive, and he's singing for her. But the song goes, "Oh, Betsy, will you meet me? Betsy, will you meet me? Betsy, will you meet me in heaven above?"
God.
And so he's singing this song to this lady Betsy that he loves. Betsy, will you meet me? Betsy, will you meet me? And then on the fourth day, so he's been chained to the floor, singing, crying, just everything, like just this traumatic human experience in this jail cell. On the fourth day after that had finished, he was taken from the jail. They took him to the gallows, and he was hanged for his crime of pushing that ladder over. So his spirit really never left the jail, according to all of the ghost hunters and tour guides that I've read stuff about. And some people still say that you can get EVPs or even hear audibly Alec singing, "Betsy, can you meet me in heaven above?" You'll hear him singing the song.
That's so sad.
It is very sad, actually.
I was having fun.
I'm sorry that I ruined it for you. But yeah, so that is that story. They say that a lot of paranormal investigators have gone in and out of here, documented lots of stuff. If you're interested, there's a lot of videos on YouTube. You can see, a lot of people, if they're on these tours, some people say that they felt tapping on their shoulders. They say that you can get lots of orb photography there, which I've told you how I feel about orb photography before. Yeah. It has to be very, very convincing for me to think that it's not just dust floating around.
Yeah, or just light reflecting off of something.
Yeah, so I'm very... I don't know about orbs. They don't impress me very much.
They don't impress me much. Orbs, 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 orbs.
Anyway. Sorry, y'all.
So you got the gleam, but have you got the touch?
Mitchell, stop.
Don't get me wrong.
Stop.
Yeah, I think you're all right. But you don't scare me none, 'cause you're just a fucking orb that don't impress me much.
Are you done?
We are listening to Shania Twain when we're done with this.
Okay, I'm fine with that, but we've got to start with "I Feel Like a Woman." Anyway, I love some good Shania. Oh, or "Whose Bed Have Your Boots Been Under?" Fucking love that song.
Yeah, dude.
Yep. Anyway.
You know what you're doing.
I do. We used to line dance to that in elementary school. No lie.
That is not a good song for children to be just like...
No, it's not.
Singing along to.
No, but we danced for exercise in elementary school. So we learned a bunch of line dances. We did the Macarena. Yeah, it was
another
weird.
One that
another
luckily is in Spanish.
I say it's Spanish,
but,
so most of the kids there didn't know what was going on. But
it's also about fucking other people.
It is.
All of them are. Those are the best songs, though. You know?
Yep.
Oh, man. We're having a good time tonight. Well, I am. I'm pretty fucking drunk after that shot. So
yes, you are.
I'm having a great time.
Anyway, so orbs, don't sing it again, are a thing. People also say that they feel just a really depressed, heavy air kind of feeling when they walk in that jail. It might be because it's really old and really enclosed, but it could also be that there's like a spirit presence there. They also say that so I read a bunch of stuff from people that led tours and stuff like that in this area. And they said that they'll tell that whole story and they'll get to the part where they sing the song. And these people generally will sing this song. And they said that when they start singing it, that sometimes they'll feel almost possessed, that their voice gets deeper than it should be, because it's a woman that was writing this. They said that the voice sort of deepens out and just resonates more, and that it almost feels like a possession almost when they start doing that. You
know what I had the thought of when you said that about the voice?
What?
One of those throat singers, like a...
The two-hit vocal singers?
That's what I thought that it was, like, Betsy, won't you come? That's just what I pictured in my head.
No, I think it's more of like a soulful, spiritual kind of sound, not...
Did you like my throat singing, though?
Oh, yeah, super cute, but...
Don't impress me much. Don't laugh at that, Leah.
We're going to have to throw the whole podcast away. Oh, my God. Bless it. But anyway, And they also say that so these jail cells still have their original keys, and they're these big skeleton key, like think Pirate of the Caribbean on a big hook, kind of, that kind of key. And so they've got it, and they'll open the cell up so people can walk in there and that kind of stuff. But they say that the cell that guy was supposed to have died in, well, not died, but was tortured in. They say that usually is working fine. They can open the door, no problem. But occasionally, it'll just for no good reason be stuck. They can't open it. They can't do anything until they say, hey, Alec, open the door. It's funny, but open the door. And eventually the lock will just work again. So that's a thing. And also apparently if you ever bring a dog in there, dogs really fucking hate it. They will bark in the corners, and
dogs hate when you start throat singing Shania. They hate it.
Mitchell, everybody hates when you throat sing Shania.
Well, when I do it, yeah, but I would imagine a throat singer could get away with it.
Yeah. But anyway, for better or for worse, that was the Lawrenceville Historic Jail.
That was a fun fucking story.
Excellent.
I don't like the circumstances surrounding it.
Definitely not.
But, I mean, it's entertaining. It's fun to listen to talk about, to theorize,
Yep.
It was just so much fun.
Are you drunk?
Yeah.
Okay.
But, I mean, this whiskey's really strong.
Yes, it is.
And I'm pretty sure there's weed in this fucking beer. I'm almost positive, because I really, really want a brownie or something right now.
A brownie with something in it, or just a brownie?
No, a snacking brownie.
Oh, you just got the munchies.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
That could be the alcohol.
Also
I'm pretty sure it's the weed beer.
Weird. Anyway, let's go ahead and move on to story number 2, because this is already running long.
Was this a long story then?
It's a little long. Okay. It's not crazy long. The whole story is only 6 pages of notes, but
Well, I don't know what that translates to, so.
I've had stories that are 30 pages of notes. So.
Again, I don't know what that translates to.
That's a Patreon kind of thing, 30 pages of notes.
Okay, so it's one story.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, still, I don't know what that translates to. Listeners start cataloging this stuff for us.
Don't worry, I've got it cataloged. But anyway, we are going to be talking about the legend of Railroad Bill.
Okay. Railroad Bill?
Railroad Bill.
Railroad William.
Nope, Railroad Bill.
Yes, Airliner William.
Nope, Railroad Bill. So we're talking about...
Seafaring Billy.
Will you shut the fuck up so I can tell this story? We've already talked about how long it's going. Mm-hmm. All right, Railroad Bill. And so this all sort of started and happened in southern Alabama initially. So we're talking about down around Mobile, Baldwin counties, that kind of thing down there.
Yeah.
So it all started in the winter of 1895 along the L&N Railroad in southern Alabama. The L&N stands for Louisville and Nashville, if anybody cared. But yeah, just the L&N Railroad.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And this character, I mean, this is one of those things where the person was real, these things happened, but the character was blown out of proportions and became kind of a folk hero villain, a folk anti-hero, I guess is the best way to describe him. So this is just sort of the basis of what initially happened to spark this Railroad Bill thing, because there's lots of songs, there's books, there's even a theater production about this story. So yeah, it's neat. It's cool. We're starting it. Okay.
Yeah.
So initially, the L&N detectives claimed that this Railroad Bill guy was actually a man named Morris Slater.
So not even Bill.
Not even Bill.
Doesn't even have anything to do with someone named Bill.
Well, actually, it kind of does. Because there is some debate as to whether it was actually that guy or it could have been Morris Slater, but a lot of people also believe that, and the main one that got killed for it, his name is Bill McCoy, and the people, the residents that lived in and around Bruton, which is in Alabama, which is one of the places that had a lot of trouble with this character, they believe that it was this Bill McCoy guy, and so maybe Railroad Bill was actually Railroad Morris, or maybe it was Railroad Bill. Who knows? But the
Railroad Morris just doesn't have a good ring.
Doesn't have a good name. You need to be Railroad Bill.
Yeah.
But the stories about Railroad Bill began to surface in early 1895. So they started when the L&N boxcar detective people, like the people that are security for the train and the train yards, they started noticing this same guy that was running the rails between Flomaton and Mobile. And Flomaton is a town in Alabama and not some weird, like, silly putty toy. I don't know. Flomaton always sounds like a weird, like, do you remember Floam from when we were a kid?
I remember Flomax, which is a boner pill.
I thought that was a peeing pill.
It's a peeing pill. You're right. It has to do with the penis. It's in some way it involves something flowing through and out of the penis.
Gross. Anyway, he was riding the rails between Flomaton and Mobile, and so they started calling him Railroad Bill. I don't know why Railroad Bill. He was on the railroad and he looked like a bill, so Railroad Bill it was. And the train detective people, security folk, started trying to detain this guy because, I mean, it was illegal to ride the rails. And they were trying to get this guy kicked off of their trains. And it turns out that he was packing heat. He had a rifle, and he was hitchhiking with his rifle. So on March the 6th of 1895, railroad employees attempted to actually, like, restrain this guy and get his, like, rifle away from him so they could arrest him. And it turns out that he was smarter than they were.
Was he?
Yeah.
Railroad Morris was?
Or Railroad Bill, who knows? But they found this guy sleeping on the water tank along their railroad line, and they try to get up on him and, like, just basically jump him and arrest him. Turns out he still had that rifle with him, and he fired on him, and as they were sort of ducking and covering to try to get away from the bullets, he, like, jumped off of the tank and escaped into the woods. It says after hijacking a train car, which I could not find any more information about that.
Don't you hijack a train and you stow away on a train car?
That's what I feel like, but maybe he stole one of those, like, you know what I mean?
Like a crate car?
Like,
whatever those things are called. It's like a seesaw.
Yeah, like the ones, like the push cart ones, like you see at the end of Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yes, he hijacked a seesaw car.
Maybe it was one of those. I don't know, because I tried to get more information about what kind of train car he hijacked, but I couldn't understand. But anyway, old newspapers are very available about this stuff, but I just don't understand some of the things that they say.
Well, if it's a normal train car, you can't really hijack it.
No, because it doesn't go anywhere. Like, it just,
You can unhook it, and then eventually you're going to stop.
It's going to stop. And they're going to find you because the track goes the one place. Like, it's... Anyway.
If it's a hand car, sure, you can pump your way down the tracks. But everything else, I am very lost as well.
Super weird. But anyway.
Did he hijack the engine?
I don't
the locomotive.
think so. But anyway, regardless, he did something weird to the trains and he escaped into the woods. And so they basically launched a huge manhunt. The railroad company hired a bunch of detectives that led a posse of folk down to Bay Minette. And on April the 6th of 1895, they ended up confronting an armed guy there. And he actually ended up and they're believing that it's this same armed man. Maybe it's a bunch of different vagrants with a rifle, but they seem to believe that it's this same guy, and they're calling him Railroad Bill.
Okay.
And so,
but it's really Morris.
Or Bill.
Right. But it's probably Morris.
I'm on the fence about that. I feel like it's more of a
Morris.
Bill.
70-30 Morris.
I feel like it's 70-30 Bill, but anyway.
65-35 Morris.
Okay, I'll take those odds.
Good.
Wait, Isn't that worse? Fuck you.
No. It's actually better for Bill, but it's still Morris as being the majority.
I'm confused. Anyway, fuck it.
Yeah, you're not good with numbers.
No, I am not.
I literally took 5 and added 5, but that's really complicated.
Shut up. But anyway, he ended up killing a Baldwin County deputy sheriff named
fucking Morris.
Yep, James H. Stewart. And they ended up having a gun battle during this whole thing, and that's where the deputy sheriff got killed.
Yeah.
So the gunfight happened, and he got away again. He evaded capture. He got back into the woods and ostensibly back onto the rails.
Okay.
So after this deputy got killed, the media attention blew the fuck up about Railroad Bill.
Right.
They posted a notice for a $500 reward in Mobile County. And the reward poster in Mobile identified the guy as Morris Slater, who was actually a convict lease worker who had fled from a turpentine camp in Bluff Springs, Florida in 1893 after he had killed another policeman. So he was... he had already killed a police officer in some sort of altercation. He had been arrested, and they were using him as slave labor, basically, in a turpentine camp in Florida, and he had fled that position. So they believe that's who it was. And so he was... He was nicknamed in that camp, in the turpentine camp, Railroad Time, because he worked real fast. And so they just were like, oh, Railroad Time, Railroad Bill. Got to be that guy, right?
Got to.
And so, Railroad Bill eventually made it into Florida from Alabama. So he killed the police officer in Alabama, moved his way into Florida, and on July the 4th of 1895, the Bruton sheriff, so from Bruton, Alabama, his name was E.S. McMillan, tracked him into a house near Bluff Springs. And so the sheriff has sort of tracked him down. They've pinned him in this area. They're ready to go arrest him. Well, as the sheriff gets up close to this house, Railroad Bill still has his fucking rifle, and opens fire, and shoots like crazy and disappears into the woods again. So the McMillan guy, obviously was fatally wounded from this because it's a fucking rifle shot. It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
So he has killed 2 police officers at this point, or 3 if he is that Morris dude. Yeah. Sorry.
Well,
what? Go ahead.
I don't have anything.
Yep.
I'm just upset overall.
Okay.
I wanted to get funny again. I want to talk about Morris some more.
We're about to get there.
Yay.
It gets weird in just a second.
Yay.
So this guy's killed the 1 police officer. Now he's killed a 2nd police officer. And the insanity happened after the first police officer got shot. It tripled after this 2nd one. It became nationwide news. And basically every police precinct in Alabama and Florida sort of banded together to hunt down this Railroad Bill guy. They increased the manpower. They just tried to hire out folk, but he kept escaping. They kept getting real close to him, but they kept missing him. He was just so slippery and slick, and they couldn't catch him whatsoever. And if they ever caught him, he had a gun. So it was really bad. But here's where some of the folk anti-hero kind of stuff comes in. He apparently was this whole time robbing trains, and he was selling the goods that he stole from the trains to people that were in poverty, to
like a Robin Hood.
Kind of, but instead of just giving it to the poor, he sold it to the poor, but he sold it for way cheaper than what they could buy it at the actual store. So
he's a hillbilly Robin Hood.
Yeah. So he sold it to sort of the local African American communities that really couldn't afford the prices that they were asked to pay in a regular store.
Okay.
And so he was sort of spreading a little bit of wealth around to the impoverished communities in Alabama.
So he was also not racist as well.
Well, no, I mean, he was black as well.
I didn't know that.
Yes, and
where
part
have I
of-
been this whole time?
I have no idea. But
you say
part
that?
of I might not have.
I don't know.
But part of the issue around the whole media storm that was involved.
This is a much more heroic story now that I know that he was African American.
So
I know that that's a little racist, but
It
I'm
is.
just saying it definitely, like, I was okay with the guy being like whatever when he was a white guy. Now that I know that he's black, I'm like fully on his side.
sticking it to the man kind of thing.
Yeah, except for killing the people thing.
Yeah.
But, you know, like stealing the train car, that's fine.
That's the thing. Yeah, like if he hadn't shot people, I could get behind it a little bit more. But anyway. But at any rate, he was a black man, and the media storm around it got super racist, super fast.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Y'all, it was the 1890s in fucking Alabama. Like, it got racist as I can't say that. Racist as fuck. Like, it became like borderline white supremacy kind of stuff in some of the newspapers that I read. It was bad. But anyway, so he has been selling all of these goods, stealing from the rich, selling to the poor at a slightly lower price.
He's still got to turn a profit.
Yeah,
I mean, come on.
you gotta live, right?
Right.
But he is occasionally, having shootouts with the lawmen and the authorities of the train company. And his legend just gets out of control. His story is growing, and a lot of the African American communities really spread this story, talk to each other about it. Like, a lot of them really dislike him because he's bringing sort of a lot of scrutiny on the community. But a lot of people are like, yeah, if I could shoot someone, I'd do it too because they're assholes. You know what I mean? Probably not like that, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
because who were assholes? The other people, right? Not the ones in the community.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm with you.
people that are being oppressive to the communities.
Right. They're the assholes.
yes.
Got it.
And so he sort of came around, like, a lot of this story is sort of like a rail riding Black Robin Hood is sort of what I get from some of these stories.
I'm so into it now.
Yeah, and
I was kind of paying attention when he was white, and I know he's black, and I'm fully engrossed now. I'm not kidding, and I don't care what you say. I'll take the racist hit for this one. I am so much more with this man knowing he's not white.
Yeah,
I'm all about it.
So his story got so big that people started attributing supernatural powers to him because he got away every time, because he showed up and he slipped in, slipped out, never got caught, that kind of thing. And so they start believing that he's a shapeshifter, that he can change form from one animal to another, that he can sort of disappear and that kind of thing. He's gotten this weird shape-shifting quality about him.
I believe it myself. I'm into it.
This supernatural Robin Hood kind of character.
Yeah.
So Shot in the Dark.
Oh God, hold on.
Very nice, Mitchell.
Oh, we're never charging that tablet again. I got this.
What did the community believe was the only thing that could end up killing Railroad Bill?
Pre-guess.
Okay.
Kryptonite.
No.
Well, shit, I'll take the shot.
Can you just like...
Go ahead. Ask the... Go ahead.
Did they believe that it would take A, a stake to the heart, B, a silver bullet, or C, beheading him and burning his body?
Oh, man.
All three monster disposal techniques.
Yeah, but the first two are for vampires.
No, the second one's for werewolves.
Oh, you're right. But silver is just like a vampire thing. No, or is it?
Silver's just about any kind of monster with
garlic.
a blood disease. Yeah.
Where am I getting silver and garlic mixed up?
Well, silver is just, you can use silver against demons. I mean, there's silver is a big, like, warding protection kind of metal in any kind of paranormal situation.
You're right. I'll give you that one. You're right. Well, I'm going to say beheading and burning.
You're wrong.
Fucking, hold on. That one was a little bit scratchier. We're going to have to upgrade to the premium app.
How about I take that shot and you don't?
Call me
'Cause you're
Michael
a little
Winslow.
drunk.
I'll take it. I don't mind. Do you just want a shot?
Yeah. Give me.
Okay, well, it's pretty strong. We only have one shot glass, so.
Okay, well, I'll take it so you don't have to, Mr. Drunk Ass.
I mean, I'm fine with that. But I'll make it up. I'll make it
Yeah,
up.
but like you have to go to work tomorrow, and I'd
Well, so do
rather. Well, yeah, but you've already had a lot of whiskey. And,
No. No.
I can't open the fucking bottle.
I've had a lot.
I gotta have a chaser.
The Coke?
Shit's-
Yeah. You can chase it with your sour. Your whiskey sour actually washes it down pretty well.
I could, but I'm not gonna take that chance.
Okay.
All right, ready?
You might want to sit up. I noticed that was what bothered me, was sitting back on the couch.
Okay.
So Leah's taking my shot. She's doing it right now.
Bottoms up.
How exciting for everyone involved. It's pretty rough in shot form, but still a delicious whiskey, and I recommend that you all try it.
It's harsh at first, but it goes away pretty quickly.
Yeah.
It's not like that black patch that keeps on burning. So it's not that bad.
Yeah, and I'm actually not going to take a shot right now because I think we can reuse this. You think that's enough
Yeah,
for 2
that's
more
plenty.
shots?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're going to reuse this in a later episode because we don't want to spend the money.
Because do you know how expensive fucking whiskey is? Very, y'all. If you want us to do a new liquor every week, y'all need to start jumping on that Possum Passel. But anyway.
And even then, I'm just going to do a new beer every week.
Yeah, that's also true. Beers are easier to come by. But anyway.
They're so much easier. But anyway. Oh, you're right. Thank you for taking my shot.
You're welcome. All right, so they became to believe that he was only vulnerable to silver bullets.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay. And that's why, like, when they got in their gunfights, they were never...
Yeah,
him.
they could never kill him because they didn't have silver bullets. So
But the bullets were definitely hitting him. Definitely,
yeah,
right?
definitely.
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 No, y'all were just fucking terrible.
No, all of the lawmen in Alabama were like stormtroopers. They no fucking aim. Anyway, so they also believed that he had the ability to basically disable bloodhounds to where they can't smell him anymore. So bloodhounds would get lost on his trail a lot. They said
really weird.
that so part of this story I got from a book from a gentleman named Carl Karmer, and excuse me, he wrote a book called The Hurricane's Children, Tales from Your Neck of the Woods.
From what?
Tales from Your Neck of the Woods.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Your neck of the woods. I couldn't tell what you said.
The woods, though, not of the woods.
Okay. I'm with you. It's a colloquialized title. Got it. I'm with you. I just wasn't sure. Remember when we talked about Yoneck? Was that on the show?
What?
Or was that on a Patreon episode?
It was a
Yoneck?
Patreon.
Okay. Sorry, everyone. Hashtag spoiler. We talked about someone named Yoneck.
Oh, no, it wasn't the Patreon. It's an upcoming Southern sampler from a Patreon subscriber.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway,
shit.
it'll come out shortly, but at any rate,
I fucked up majorly then.
y'all have that shit to look forward to. But anyway, so are you okay?
I just fucked up so bad.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that big of a deal.
No.
But, you know.
Anyway,
That's coming up.
so in that book by Carl Karmer, it describes like one of the railroad detectives is finally found this railroad bill guy. They're chasing him through sort of these low bushes into a clearing, and they've sort of got him surrounded. They have him in this like sort of bush area, and they're like, okay, we're gonna just shoot. So the sheriff and the detectives and stuff start letting go with their double-barreled shotgun, shooting. Nothing.
No silver bullets. That's why.
Nothing. And then a little fox comes out of the woods. And the little fox just sort of runs by and it sort of looks back at him and sort of pitches its head up and makes a weird, that fox noise. And fox noises are creepy as fuck.
It's like a chirping almost.
Yeah, it's sort of it's almost a laughing sound. And the sheriff swore that that little fox was Railroad Bill because it laughed just like him. You know what I mean? So that's sort of the kind of story that has melded into this character. And so a lot of people, that's one of the elements that if you hear it retold, a lot of people say that he's a shapeshifter because of stuff like that.
He was a fox.
Yep.
Oh, that's
So about
cool.
the
That was
summer-
his animagus.
Yes. That's probably what it was. He was just a wizard that was an animagus. Anyway, but by the summer of 1895, the L&N Railroad, the state of Alabama, the state of Florida, the township of Bruton, and Escambia County had all gotten together. They pooled their money. They came up with a reward of $1,250 for the capture of Railroad Bill. So that was a lot of fucking money. And so bounty hunters from all over the South, even up as far as Indiana, started coming all the way down to southwestern Alabama, and sort of the western, like sort of the swampy areas of Florida. And they are just rock and rolling. There's so many people rolling into town. They got people from the Pinkerton National Detective Agency. Like I said, the detectives from L&N. There were lots of extra police folk that showed up. They had vigilante posses of all shapes, sorts, and sizes. And it got so bad that here comes our racism again.
Yay!
Lots of African American men started finding themselves like being cornered by these assholes, thinking, oh, you're a black man and there's a railroad. You must be the Railroad Bill, right? And they're like, no, I'm not fucking Railroad Bill. And they're like, oh, I'm going to take you in anyway. So a lot of people got brought in and questioned and accused of being accomplices. Lots of men were arrested, and this is very shortly after, Reconstruction and all of that sort of stuff. So these men were brought in. They were even beaten. Some were tortured, and a few men were just shot on the spot for being suspected of being Railroad Bill. So like on July the
Alabama's great.
Yeah, on July the 16th of that year, the Pine Belt News in Bruton, Alabama, ran a headline that said, "The wrong man shot." There were similar reports from Mississippi, Florida, Georgia, Texas, all about black men being killed after being misidentified as this Railroad Bill guy. So like I said, that also brings some of that animosity around about this guy from the black community itself, because, like, dude, people are getting shot because you won't calm down.
Like, we understand he's fucking up, but, like, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
It's not every black man that was doing it. Hashtag not all men. Am I right, Leah?
Yeah. So anyway.
Was that too much?
A little bit.
Okay.
A lot bit. But whatever. Anyway,
I'm sorry.
By August the 2nd of that same year, the Montgomery Daily Advertiser also was reporting that the fugitives had become something of a small army with at least 100 men in the area ready to, like, catch this guy. So it was widespread. There were lots of people that came into town to hunt this one singular guy.
Were they all going to split it, or just whoever got the collar?
What?
Well, it's Leah. I like Law and Order. It's it's a police term for making the arrest. I got the collar. We got the collar. But I figured it was probably a bounty hunter term in the first place, because if you capture them, you probably put a collar with a chain on them. That kind of thing.
Huh. I have no idea. But
I just
anyway,
took a shot there, and
excuse me.
Maybe I was wrong, but probably. I'm saying, are they teaming up and we're going to split the $1,250, or are they all free balling?
I think there's
not free balling. That was the wrong term.
It was.
Are they all just going at it on their own, singularly?
I believe there's probably a mixture. So I'm sure there are teams. I'm sure there are single lone wolf kind of guys. I think there's a mixture of all of those things.
So there is some free balling in the posses.
Some free balling was going on. But anyway, so the hunt for Railroad Bill ended on March the 7th of 1896 when a man was gunned down by law enforcement officers at the Tidmore and Ward's General Store in Atmore, Alabama. It was a depot town for the railroad along the L&N line. And the final episode in this whole thing is very widely reported. Some sources say one thing, some sources say another. So here's both ways.
Okay.
So some people say that he had just gotten off this train, snuck off the train, and they killed him as he was sitting on an oak barrel eating cheese and crackers in front of this store. Okay. Other people say that he wasn't gunned down unsuspectingly, like they found him and he was shooting back and they were shooting him and he died this time.
Because they had silver bullets.
Yeah.
Since you have the hiccups, I'll take over for a moment.
No. And then other people say that the law enforcement knew that he was going to be at this place, that they purposefully staked out this store and they had him walk into a trap here. So no one really knows exactly what happened. But Railroad Bill's body was placed on public view in Bruton, Alabama first. Lots of crowds of looky-loos come together to look at this criminal dude, which this was a very common practice back then. If you had an outlaw of any sort, they'd like set you up and walk you through and take pictures and that kind of thing.
It's amazing just where our society has come to where we're like, everyone used to be able to just see a dead body if they wanted to. And now you're lucky to I don't think lucky is the word.
Lucky is not the word.
But if hidden on the internet, you can find pictures of Osama bin Laden's execution. Ugh. And they're still proud of it, and that sort of thing. And you can find them if you go looking. I haven't, but I know that they're there. I'm just saying it used to just be, hey, look, we killed him. Come look. And now it's kind of on the internet of we killed him. You can see it if you look a little bit.
Anyway.
It's just upsetting.
Yeah. But
what happened to humanity, Leah?
Well, I mean, we're talking about...
We don't spank our children anymore.
What? What the fuck? We don't have children.
No, not we, but
the collective we?
Yeah.
Well, I don't... That had nothing to do with anything.
All children should be abused.
What?
Because it makes them stronger.
No, it doesn't. It really doesn't.
Oh, God. No, I know that. I'm being the old guy. Forget it.
Please calm your tits. Stop being drunk old Mr. Bourbon Man over there.
Drunk old Mr. Bourbon Man.
Story.
How do you know my porn name? I thought I hid that. I hid that part of my life from you forever.
Mitchell, you're getting weird.
But if you know Drunk Old Bourbon Man, we got a problem.
You're getting real weird and we're almost at the end of this story.
Oh, well then I should lengthen it a little bit more. No. Anyway,
so they put his body on display in Bruton. Everybody comes by. They charge an admission to see him. A lot of the residents of Bruton recognize the man as the Bill McCoy guy that we said before. And Bill McCoy was a local sort of troublemaker guy that had actually threatened a local sawmill owner named T.R. Miller with a knife. And
T.R. Miller is the name of a high school in Alabama. I played baseball against T.R. Miller a few times.
It might be connected, but anyway.
I'm pretty sure it is. I don't think there are multiple T.R. Millers.
I don't know. But anyway, he threatened that guy with a knife around the same time that Morris Slater guy was also working in the Turpentine camp in Florida. So they could be two separate men. They could be the same men. They could be both Railroad Bill. They could neither be Railroad Bill. It's very confusing.
Couple questions.
Yes.
Well, really just one question. What is a turpentine camp?
So turpentine, I believe, is a naturally derived thing from the earth, and they had to
oil of some sort.
Yeah, I don't think mining is the right way, but they were producing turpentine.
You extract it somehow.
Yes, and I believe it was a very difficult, laborious kind of thing that you would only make criminals do, and that
really,
yeah.
Well, I know that turpentine just isn't much of a thing anymore, like it was back then, but
I mean, it's a really common solvent for painting and stuff like that, but
I just don't know that it's a natural resource, that would run out eventually. It might be. I honestly don't know. That's why I was asking.
I don't know anything about turpentine, so I can't be of assistance, but at any rate.
Well, I'm sorry for asking.
Okay, we done? Can I finish?
Yeah.
All right. So, they set him up, had his body out there. The people could pay 50 cents to get a picture of the constable J.L. McGowan who shot the guy standing over the guy's body.
Oh, why?
Yeah, because they're dicks. I don't know. But after a few days of being displayed in Bruton, the body was taken by train to Montgomery, Alabama, and then it was later taken to Pensacola, Florida. They had public displays. They charged admission the whole time. You could go in to see him for 25 cents a piece. And the final resting place of this man's body is unknown. It's not really kept in detail what happened to him afterwards. But the legend of Railroad Bill continued on. Some people believe that wasn't even Railroad Bill that they shot. Like I said, it became more of a anti-establishment Robin Hood-y kind of thing.
Like a Che Guevara type of thing.
Yeah. And like I said, a lot of people had an animosity towards him initially when it was actually happening because of all of the persecution and, once again, the white supremacy problem that they had.
Yeah, it's kind of a big problem.
But, as it sort of separates time-wise from all of these people being falsely accused of being this guy, he sort of morphed and grown into more of a Robin Hood, more of a beneficial character, and a lot of musicians have used that as a stage name. A lot of blues folks have used that name. A lot of songs, especially blues songs, were written about him. There are several famous recordings of songs about him. Excuse me.
You okay over there?
In like the 80s, there was a musical play called Railroad Bill that was put on in New York. So like I said, it's a pretty widely known popular folk story now. But it did start as some transient man with a rifle that couldn't get caught. You know what I mean? So that was the story of Railroad Bill.
That was a great story. And I wanted to look it up because I wanted to be sure. But T.R. Miller High School is in Bruton, Alabama.
Oh, yeah. See, then it was definitely the woodworker dude or the sawmill operator.
Right. It's the same person for sure. And I thought it was, but I wanted to look it up just to be sure because I want to contribute.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But, I wasn't sure where that name came from, so that's exciting for me to learn that.
That school was named after a sawmill owner. Then.
Yeah, T.R. Miller High School in Bruton, Alabama.
Good to know.
You're welcome, everyone. Oh, well, that was fun, Leah. This was just a good week. Good story week.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I enjoyed them both.
I did too. I'm glad you enjoyed them.
Oh, man. All right. Well, how about we get a toast then?
All right. Well, let's do it.
Okay.
Everybody out there in podcast land, hoist your goblets high into the air. We are going to be toasting some folk. Anyway.
I love when you just, fuck it. We're toasting. Get over it. Good luck, everyone.
I'm still hiccuping bourbon, and I'm a little tired, so we're going to get this done. Anyway. Sweet Alex sings for Betsy for all eternity in a granite jail cell with no bathroom modernity. With a rifle he rode the rails through valley and through hill. As a fox or as a man, the folks just call him Bill. Drink.
I have no idea what the end of that first stanza meant.
There's no toilets in the jail.
So that's what that meant?
Yeah, no bathroom modernity. You have to shit in a bucket. That's what that means.
I just didn't recognize the word modernity. Sounded like something you made up.
No, it's not.
I now know that it's not.
Yep.
And I accept it. So
cool.
Very good work. Great job this week, everyone involved. I'm proud of all of you.
Alrighty.
We thank y'all for listening to the Southern Spirits Podcast. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for Southern Spirits Podcast. We are there. You can also join the community chat on Facebook. Just, search for Southern Spirits Community Chat. That's where all of the fun shit happens for the most part.
Lots of fun shit.
So much fun shit. Send us an email, southernspiritspodcast@gmail.com. That's where you can submit questions for Midweek Minis or listener stories, or you can send us messages on any of those social medias, and we'll get them there. Join the Patreon Southern Spirits Podcast. No, I'm sorry, patreon.com/Southern Spirits Podcast. That's where we are. Become a Possum Passel member, get yourself some stickers and some other fun shit. Send us any fun stuff like Jackie did earlier this week to our P.O. Box, which is P.O. Box 1743, Hartselle, Alabama. That's Hartselle 35640. And again, it's just been a great week. I had fun with these stories. We hope that y'all did too. And we will see you next week.
Bye, y'all.